Okay, hello. Today we're going to be talking about dish rags. Real quickly, real briefly, dish rags. What they're for, obviously, is for cleaning dishes, and for doing other stuff like wiping your stove, and other surfaces that you do your food prep, and sometimes your food eating on. But what happens after you use them for a little while, sometimes even only one day? They smell pretty terrible. Why do they smell so terrible? Bacteria. So there are a couple of things that you can do about this, and the reason I'm making this video is because when I searched for this online, I found an amazing amount of people that said that their rags still stink after they wash them, and that blows my mind. So I'm going to fix that, because if your towel still stinks after you wash it, you're not doing your laundry right. So I'm going to give you a little laundry tip for this too. Nothing personal, I'll just tell you what I found that works well, especially if you live in an apartment and you don't control your water heater and you can't control the temperature at which your washer washes, because the hot load is supposed to be something like 140, 150 when you hit the hot water. Most places have it at 120 or less. So that's not really hot enough to kill germs. So what can you do? I'll tell you. But for starters, you've got a dish rag, and there are many different kinds. Okay, this is a store-bought rag. It's a really nice one. It's held together pretty well. It's a few years old. Stinks pretty quickly when I use it though. These are the disposable kind. A lot of people opt for these because they can use them for a little while and throw them out when they get nasty, but it's not really good for the environment. Some other kinds, just real quick, these are some other store-bought ones. You know, interesting, nice little textures. These are some homemade ones I got from some family. Right, they made these for me. They're real nice. They work good. You know, these are knitted. I believe they're knitted. Sometimes you can even find packs of cheap ones like this. I got these at Walgreens in their discount bin for like $1. It's nice to have stuff like this for cleaning towels laying around, cleaning carpet, you know, puke or something, blood, other nasty stuff that you might get somewhere. Then you could throw the towel away because it doesn't cost much. But I really want to be able to keep all this kind of stuff and keep it clean and reuse it because it's better for the environment. And when you have a stinky towel and you're wiping down your stove, let's say, or wiping down your table that you eat on, or other food prep areas, of which you can see my kitchen is very small and there's not a lot of food prep areas here. But when you do that and the towel stinks like bacteria, then you're pretty much spreading that smell and that bacteria around. So the best thing that you can do, keep the towel in use. Wash it out with as hot of water as you can use. How do you know if the water is hot enough? Well, it should hurt your hands. And honestly, you should have to use those yellow gloves that you find in the aisle that has the dish soap and other stuff like that. You should have to use the yellow gloves because the water should be so hot. If you're not using the yellow gloves, that it's burning you. That's the correct temperature of hot. This water here, especially for being in an apartment, this is pretty close. It's a little bit of steam coming off of it, and if I hold my hand under there for 10 seconds, this would definitely hurt. I have to keep my hands moving, so that's pretty good. You wash it, you use some dish soap. You got to use a quality dish soap. I mean, I got Palmolive and Dawn here, and I've also used Ajax, but you get into those generic soaps, it's like they just add a bunch of water, and it's really not worth the price difference because you can get any one of these bottles this size for $1. Sometimes you can find good brands like this at the dollar store, $1. It's not worth trying to use generic soap if it's 10 cents cheaper, and if you go somewhere where the choice is generic soap or name brand and there's a 20-cent difference, it's just one case where I would not use generic. So you wash it out as good as you can, and after it's washed out, of course, you try to hang it somewhere so that it can dry between uses. That is the best that you can do. And when you're done, you know, it's simple. You just smell it. If you smell it and it smells nasty, change the towel. I also like to use sponges as my primary cleaner because generally the soap flow goes one way. I mean, it does back up a little bit, but generally the soap flow goes from inside the device out through the sponge as you're washing, so it keeps the sponge fresher a little longer. So, real quickly then, when you're washing your clothes, and I mean, I use this rule for all my clothes when I work out too, so sometimes I get sweaty workout clothes that stink, you know, and there's not much you can do about that. The clothes are soaked in sweat. You can hang them over the tub or something until they dry, but still, there's a lot of bacteria in there because that's just the nature of what it is. So when you have a load full of stuff with bacteria, dish towels, washcloths, or gym clothes, etc., this is what I do. And I do this for all my clothes. All my towels come out smelling good. And I don't even use white towels. I used to use exclusively white because then I could bleach them. And, you know, the bleach just thinned. I use a lot of bleach and it thinned them out. So this is what I do nowadays instead. I use either Purex or All Free and Clear. That's my go-to soap. when I'm really, you can find this on sale. You got to make sure they're $6.75 or something a piece, expensive, but you can always find them for like $3, sometimes 2. So you got to find them on sale. When you're really pressed for money, this one ain't too bad. I've been using this lately. It's not too bad. I don't like it quite as much as the all. Probably put all at number 1, Purex at number 2, and then this is a backup one. And then my other favorite, but this one is never cheap, is the OxyClean. And then every load I add OxyClean too. And you may notice they have 3 different colors. They have a yellow, a green, and a purple. Purple is excellent for mold, mildew, and bacteria. This is what I use, 1 to 2 scoops, depending on how big the load is. But put this in with your washcloths, put this in with your dishcloths, put this in with your gym clothes, and one of these soaps, the right amount of soap, and as hot of a cycle as you can get, and you should be good to go. And always dry thoroughly. A lot of people don't like to dry. I know sometimes when you're wearing stuff like t-shirts or, certain kinds of undergarments, other clothes, people like to air dry. Air dry if you have to. Take it out and hang it right away. But for the most part, definitely with towels, no exception with towels. Towels should always be dried 100% to kill all the bacteria. And if you do that and your towels or your washcloths and dishcloths are still coming out of the dryer and they stink, if you're doing that, then something is wrong. You've got some epic bacteria, because shouldn't be possible. Okay, and that's it.
Like and subscribe.